Hello everyone, Dr. Mark here again. The vast majority of veterinarians writing for websites that sell ice cream for dogs are going to tell you not to share your human ice cream with your pet. So many, in fact, that this has become common knowledge with most vets you ask. That is not necessarily true, and so many people out there are going to tell you this and other facts like it is an absolute. So what are the usual reasons for not giving a dog ice cream according to most vets? The first is that ice cream is high in sugar and fat. If your dog has an obesity issue or problems with pancreatitis, giving a fatty treat like ice cream will make things worse. The sugar will also contribute to obesity and may cause vomiting, diarrhea and more plaque, which will develop into tartar if the teeth aren't brushed every day. The second usually given is that some dogs are lactose intolerant. There's no research available, that I'm aware of, on the percentage of dogs that suffer from lactose intolerance. Some say most, but there's no research to back this up. Anyone that tells you all dogs are lactose intolerant are wrong. The third is that some diet ice creams may contain xylitol. Xylitol is an artificial sweetener that's toxic to dogs, even in small amounts. The prevalence of xylitol in so many foods makes giving all foods that claim to be diet potentially dangerous. This includes chewable vitamins, snack cakes and candies labeled diet, plus some brands of peanut butter. The last is that some flavors in the ice cream section of the store are potentially toxic to dogs. One of the most common ice cream flavorings is chocolate. There's very little actual chocolate in those ice creams though, so it's unlikely to cause a problem. If you have a Chihuahua or Maltese and you give several teaspoons, there may be enough chocolate to be a problem, although even then I doubt there would be. There are ice creams that contain raisins, which can be toxic even in small amounts, and others that have macadamia nuts, like Häagen-Dazs, Baskin-Robbins, salted caramel flavors in several brands and others, mixed in or used as a flavoring. Macadamia nuts are toxic to dogs. Because of those reasons, many veterinarians now suggest that you tell your clients to never give ice cream. There are rules that are much more appropriate than never, however. The first is to just share plain vanilla ice cream, not chocolate or Rocky Road or any of the other flavors that might contain raisins, macadamia nuts or anything that can be toxic to your dog. The second is to never give your dog anything diet. Toxins are always dose-related, and licking the spoon may not be enough to cause any problems, but it's best to just avoid diet products, especially if you have a small dog. The third is to refrain if your dog is prone to loose stools or excessive gas. Dogs prone to the above are more likely to have lactose intolerance and be triggered by a treat like a teaspoon of ice cream. The fourth is the old all things in moderation rule. Even if your dog doesn't have any normal GI issues, giving a treat that contains sugar in excess may trigger a bout of loose stools. Don't give more than a few licks of ice cream. If it's a tiny dog, you can let him or her lick the spoon. If it's a larger dog, a teaspoon isn't going to hurt. If I can't share my ice cream with my dog, what's the alternative? There are many healthy alternatives to give your dog if you can't share your ice cream because your dog is lactose intolerant or has problems with sugar. Offer some fruit. One of the easiest is to just give a little fresh fruit. Blueberries contain antioxidants, and if you're eating a bowl of ice cream at home, you can carry a few with you into the living room to give to your dog while you're eating ice cream. They're easy to carry without making a mess, so if you want to take your dog to the takeout, they aren't going to mess up your car. However, you might want to take a few apple slices instead, as they're not as messy if your dog doesn't eat them. Berry stains are hard to get out of the upholstery. Buy dog-friendly ice cream. If you've given your dog ice cream in the past and really want to keep up with that, there are now some dog-friendly ice creams for sale. They're often made with yogurt, which is less likely to bother a dog that's lactose intolerant. Greek yogurt only has about 4 grams of lactose in a 6-ounce container, 0.67 grams per ounce, while whole milk has 12 grams of lactose in 8 ounces, 1.5 grams per ounce. Make your own dog-friendly ice cream. There are also several recipes online for ice creams you can make at home. They're actually frozen yogurt and do contain some lactose, but very little. They also contain frozen bananas to make up for the sweetness from the sugar, and some of the recipes contain strawberries or peanut butter to add a flavor that most dogs like. Freeze Greek yogurt as a treat. If you don't want to make one of these ice creams for your dog, you can also just take a cookie sheet and fill it with plain, unflavored, and unsweetened tablespoon-sized dollops of Greek yogurt. Freeze the yogurt, about an hour or two, depending on your freezer, and give 2 or 3 servings to your dog, depending on his or her size. Your dog will love the cool treat. It's lower calorie than the banana ice cream, and most dogs won't mind that the treat isn't sweetened. Yogurt is a great treat for your dog. Some of the bacteria will die during freezing, but it's still a good probiotic source, an important component of your dog's health, especially if he or she is eating an ultra-processed, dry, dog food. Thanks for watching. If you have made ice cream for your dog at home, let us know your recipe in the comments. If you learned something from this video, please give it a like. I would also appreciate if you would take the time to subscribe to my channel. Many of the videos are on choosing the best dog, but I also have plenty on nutrition, health issues like dermatology, and of course some are just about living with our dogs. If you have any health questions about your dog, you can send them to me at one of my Ask a Vet columns at pethelpful.com or yourpetsathome.com. There is no charge for asking a question about your dog, but I do ask you to include info on his age, breed, and any test results you have had done. A photo helps a lot too, so I appreciate it if you include that so I can give you the best answer possible. Do you want to read one of my articles on dogs and other pets? You can find my information on pethelpful.com, paradepets.com, and Your Pets at Home. Most of you have already signed off. If you are still here though and have a minute, click on my profile page and take a look at the videos I have posted. If you have any suggestions about what you need to know for your dog, leave a comment. Thanks for hanging around. I hope you and your dog have a nice day.